Yo, Durtty. Everybody bumping on the block. Yo, Durtty.
This is Rhythm D West Coast production king. Shouts out to Eazy, straight out of Compton movie. This is the Durtty Boys.
Durtty Boys, man, Hot 107.9. I told y'all, man, it is famous freaking Fridays right now, man. And listen, I told you about, we're going to have the super producer in the building. His name is Rhythm D. One of the producers, Eazy, had signed back in the day, you know what I mean? And he did the famous diss record that was towards Dr. Dre and Snoop, mostly.
My favorite.
One of them craziest beats.
Yes, I did.
Real much. Jeez.
I thought it was from Compton. That came out, man.
Rhythm D, what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm good. I can't complain about anything.
We were talking off the air, and Jay had asked you a question about the whole NWA.
Yeah, NWA. You were explaining the fact that you were saying, like, as far as like when you came on and actually start working with Eazy, because I think a lot of people got it mixed up as far as this movie is not about Eazy, it's about the group NWA, and they gave you a little piece of everybody's life that came after or was a part of NWA.
It was basically about Eazy's life with his record label that he started and the group NWA.
Right.
That whole legacy right there, how it began, and you know, all the conflicts, the politics, the social things that happened in Los Angeles at the time. It was about
From
that.
The Rodney King beating.
All of that. Well, that was a little bit after.
Okay. So they just threw that in, like, hey.
You could throw it in, but there's a lot of stuff that might have been left out because it may not have been entertaining for, you know, you can only fit so much in an hour and some change.
Yeah, because Eazy, in that movie, Eazy died in 6 minutes. They said he got 6 more months to live, and it's like I blinked, and he was like, couldn't breathe, in a coma.
Well, I know that isn't true.
Right.
But, you know, rather than really focus on things that didn't happen.
Right.
I try to look at the things that did happen.
Right.
In my career, and look at the artists that could have really blew up had Eazy stayed alive.
Right.
How do those artists feel about what happened? I mean,
some of them are a little upset about him passing. You got to realize Eazy was the Berry Gordy of gangster rap and West Coast hip hop in California at the time, and there were so many brothers that really wanted record labels. I could honestly say that all the main gang member affiliates were starting their own labels and taking their money and trying to you know, reverse it and turn it into a popular hip hop label. But Eazy's was pretty much the one that spearheaded it all.
Okay. ATL, keep it locked right here. We are talking right now with Rhythm D. He's one of the producers that were signed by Eazy-E. Back in the day with Ruthless Records, he also produced the diss record.
Real Compton City Cheese.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? It made him really big, you know, and other records as well. We can talk about this, man. It's all in light of what's going on with the Straight Outta Compton movie, man. So y'all keep it locked. It's Hot 107.9. Number one hip-hop station. We are anything right now, man. And we are talking right now with Rhythm D, man, one of the producers that was signed by Eazy-E at Ruthless Records. You know, back in the day, man, he made the famous diss track against Dr. Dre and Snoop, and with the movie coming out right now, a lot of stuff is coming. Yeah, questions are being said. I heard LA Weekly wrote up a little article about, you know, what certain things that were left out, and you said earlier that this was an NWA movie, not an Eazy-E movie. Yeah,
it was an Eazy-E, an NWA movie that was his life before, before Real Compton City G's.
Right.
So you got to look at the three main people that, you know, produced this movie.
Right.
You got Tamika Wright, his widowed wife, and then Dre and Cube. So you got two people that probably didn't care too much about him a little bit before he passed. And then you got his wife, who just so happens to be a friend of mine, because we would all hang out as, you know, this is your girlfriend, I got my girlfriend, and let's hang out. You know, I lived with Eazy. He was like my brother. So not a lot of people could say that. I know the truth about a lot of people. You know, I know a lot of people got tapes out there that I won't say nothing about.
Hold on.
You know,
this is a story this is a story that this is a story. Speaking of tapes, hold up, stop.
Speaking of tapes,
check this out. Now because a lot of people, as a producer, let's get this out the way real quick, because this is the regular stuff. Some of the beats you produced on some of Bone Thugs and Harmony's album.
Yes, I did Down for My Thing on the very first record.
Okay.
I did Flesh and Bones first record. Me and another guy named Damon Elliott, who just so happens to be Dionne Warwick's son. We produced his first record.
You did you did on Deep Cover as well.
I did. My first time on Wax was probably Deep Cover. I did a song called "Down for My Thing" on that soundtrack, and then I did a hit record that got me a Grammy nomination called "Diddy" by a rapper named Paperboy.
Okay,
and that kind of put me over the top for Eazy to actually look at me.
Now,
which is something I didn't see at the time,
right?
But, you know.
But Rhythm. Now let me ask you this, because at one point in time as a producer, you had a chance to either be with Death Row, and then that didn't go well. Why did not go well, tape wise?
Well, I mean, we are, you know, people talk about a lot of things that go on to become part of
certain
different camps and organizations. You know, I'm just a starving young producer trying to come up in the game, and I'm all about beats. I'm not about nothing else. I'm from South Central LA. You know, I'm from a gangster town. So a lot of times when you're coming up in gangster rap, there are certain things that come at you that might compromise your integrity and your morale.
This is like the most political way I've ever heard this.
As a man and as a human being. What was
asked of you to join Death Row? What did they want you to do?
Well, you know, considering politics, I will say that it was something that none of us in this room would do to become successful at something that you were, you know, that it was a God-given gift. And it just made me look at the whole industry a lot different, because
like, what, it's not about talent?
It's damn near like we started, we hear all this talk about Illuminati and all of that, but we're kind of the ones that started it with all of the buffoonery that we do to get people to sell their souls to be popular.
Almost kind of like they say about the movie, like even movies, like how a lot of the young black actors, they have to play gay roles and do gay things in movies before they get their big shot.
I thought this was acting. I thought it was about my talent.
Right.
And instead of me doing something that's not, that has nothing to do with my person.
So right now, if you're just not tuning in, we're talking with Rhythm D, man, and we're talking about he was originally going to be with Death Row, Suge Knight, Dr. Dre, or was asked to be.
Yeah.
And that it didn't happen because they asked you to do some things that were not very manly. And
trying to compromise this man's sexuality.
Well, not sexuality, but it wasn't sexuality.
Like, hold on.
No.
Said things I wouldn't do, so I just figured it was.
Well, no,
it wasn't anything like that.
It was a tape.
It was just more. It was more like, if you do this, you'll be. It's sort of like your initiation.
They wanted him to do something on tape.
The initiation in the Death Row. We're gonna keep it
It
political.
wasn't that. Okay.
It was, we gonna keep it politics.
I was like, no wonder I never made it.
Keep it politics. But the way I looked at it was like, look, I'm not no buster. Right. I'm a grown man. I'm trying to come up in the game, so let me just bounce. I see who's really running the label. I met Suge first before anybody. Me and Suge used to roll out like buddies. It's like I'm affiliated with a lot of gang killers and gangsters in this business.
Right.
They look at me like a little brother. I follow just the man code of everything because I was brought up with morals.
Right.
I don't care nothing about nothing that doesn't have to do with making beats and making money to feed my family.
Right.
Integrity.
So
that's real.
It shouldn't be about you do this and we're gonna blow you up. My beats and my talent should do that. Right. So the way I looked at it, not being bitter about it, I just stepped away and started to look at what I had already accomplished, which was the Diddy. That was already playing on the radio, so I didn't really need a track record over there, and I bounced.
So wait, hold on. But now when we come back, ATL, we're gonna talk to him about getting with how you got with Eazy-E and how he signed you. And I want you to tell me the story about when he heard that beat and he ran out and he put that money on the table and this.
Yep.
So ATL, come back with that, man. We got Rhythm D in the building, man. The producer that Eazy-E had signed to Ruthless Records back in the day, man. He made the famous diss track, man, against Dr. Dre and Snoop. So keep it locked. It's Hot 179. Super producer, one of the last producers that Eazy-E signed to Ruthless Records. And we last talked, we talked about how did this deal even come about. and I'm gonna fast forward a little bit for people. I know that it happened through. You used to be a producer for an artist on his label, a female artist
on
Eazy.
On Ruthless.
On
how I met him. That's what you're saying. How
did you meet him?
No, I met Eazy through the mother of his child, who's her name is Tracy. No, I didn't even know who Tamika was at the time.
Oh, okay.
I met him through a lady who's a friend of mine by the name of Tracy Jarnigan, and she's the mother of his daughter Erin.
Okay.
And she was rapping at the time, and I think somebody over at Death Row plugged me with her and said she needed some tracks, and I hooked up with her and I started working on her, and I made some great songs on her. And she was like, my baby daddy is Eazy-E. And it just blew me back because, at the time I was over at Death Row knowing how they were going to diss him and everything. I had no idea that I was going to meet Eazy-E because I was trying to be down with Death Row.
Right.
But it just didn't work out, and that's what it was. But, you never know what your destiny is going to be. So I meet him, and, I start playing him a bunch of tracks, and he wasn't really feeling G-Funk, really.
Okay.
He loved hip hop a lot, so that's why at the time he was working with Naughty by Nature's producer. I forgot his name. What is his name? KG from Naughty by Nature.
Okay.
And I went out to his house in the hood. He had a house out there in Norwalk. And I went over there and I played him some tracks that it was my own style, Me and Battlecat, DJ Battlecat were great friends, and we had, we made beats on the SP1200. And we had this sound that we came up with in South Central. And, you have to be confident in your own sound. Right. So I just put out some SP1200 discs and I put them in the drum machine. I played one beat. And Eazy came running out the bathroom with a towel on and his hair, all his jerry curl all messed up. And was like, this beat hard. You rolling with Ruthless. And took like maybe $2 or $3 grand out of his pocket, out of his sock, and threw it in my lap, and I was like, "Yeah, I guess I am rolling." You know what I'm saying? Like, he was real cool. He was a real cool dude. He was probably the coolest one in NWA. Yellow was like a big brother. Ran, that was like my partner.
Right.
It just, you at the end of the day, you have to go where you belong, and I belonged on Ruthless. It's like playing pro ball.
I hear you. The right team for the right fit.
Exactly. And you never know. You make plans, and God laughs, and you move on. And it's very exciting. My life is great. So.
Rhythm D is in Atlanta now. You reside in Atlanta now. You make beats in Atlanta right now.
You
mix and master.
I love Atlanta.
So how do people get in contact with you? Is there a phone number to call? What's the IG page? Because people are looking for a producer nowadays that
actually
knows the old techniques, but can mesh it with the new technology.
Yeah, you can get at me on Instagram at Rhythm D on Instagram, and you can hit me up on Twitter, which is the Genie on Twitter, and Facebook. Say the Real Rhythm D on Facebook. So get at me, and I'll make your music sound spectacular. I'm the Genie Rhythm D, and I got beats. I got beats and production. So I'm here to give everybody production. Let's take it back to production and not just beats. West Coast, baby.
It sounds like a commercial.
And this is all being brought to you by
West Coast, baby.
The Genie.
West Coast, baby.
There it is, man. ATL, man, you guys keep it locked. It is Hot 107.9.